All right, guys, here we are. It is our 6th week, and thus begins the next stage in your overall team project. This time it is the project proposal. So you did a letter of inquiry. That is where you're establishing contact with the company representing your assigned industry. So remember, this project is designed around addressing an industry problem. It is something that you think can be improved upon or made better with regard to the representative company in your greater industry. Okay. The project proposal is where you actually detail how you propose to make this situation that you've identified in the letter of inquiry better, more efficient, okay, to the company. Okay, you pretend that you are actually writing this to a company and maintain the name, the identity of the company as you identified it in your letter of inquiry. Okay, that's going to stay with you each step of the way. Okay, whether you addressed it as a mock name, that's fine. You do have to give some level of veracity or truthiness, let's say, to these companies. Okay, you need to act as though they are real companies if you're not using an actual company. Okay, so don't get too caught up in the silliness of the names and things like that. Okay, or you have to actually act as though you were addressing real people. Okay, maybe you are. All right. That said, what we have in our book in chapter 16 is something called an internal proposal. Now, this presupposes an internal proposal that you are within the company and you are reaching out to some executive in the company in order to solve the problem. Okay. Now, in the letter of inquiry, we weren't necessarily defining ourselves as internal, as though we worked for company X. Okay. Maybe you did that in your letter of inquiry, but really it was more as though you were external to the company, acting as kind of a potential consultant, emailing, contacting this company. Hey, let's establish a relationship. I think we have some ideas. My team can help you guys solve problem X. Okay. So that's fine. Okay. You don't have to act as though you are internal to the company. I say all this because the model that is in the book, the model that you indeed need to follow, because it gives very detailed and specific formatting in terms of structure, how this thing should look. Okay. It begins on page 439 and it goes to page 445. Okay. So you, in fact, should have a purpose to your proposal. And above that, even, you need to date, have the addressee, the addresser, and the subject. Okay. Again, this probably carries over from your letter of inquiry. Okay. Same company. You're not making up a new company. Okay. This is the same company of the representative industry you were assigned. Okay. Purpose, summary, flip the page, an introduction, proposed tasks, next page, outline the tasks, flip over a page or two. I'm not expecting you all, as you see on page 444, to reproduce a schedule or a budget. Okay, we only have a week to do this because of our truncated summer semester, so some of these things might be a little too, while ideally we would like to have them, I think maybe a little too tedious for what we're trying to do here. So you don't necessarily have to have a schedule or a budget, at least not delivered in the table representation as you see in 444. If you choose to do that, if your group has the time to do that, it certainly reflects well on you, okay, but I'm not requiring it. Next page, page 445, the concluding page of this sample, experience, and then references. You need a references section to this document in APA format. Remember, we learned in 1101, works cited, MLA, references APA, the American Psychological Association. Remember, APA has more to do with more scientific research, maybe even in the realm of business in this case. So that is the model you're following. So you do need to do some research, okay? Now, it's not like the level, the depth and breadth of research you had to do for your final 1101 research paper on your argumentative essay. This is not going to require you to go into the library's databases. You can do internet research on Google, okay? Let's say your representative company was Tesla, okay? Let's say you had the technology group, okay? I don't need to go on some academic database in order to find out material, statistics, numbers, data on Tesla. I could do that right now. Tesla is a huge company, okay? And I could document that as I see fit according to my group's proposal. So this time, you are documenting what you use from the internet, and you must use sources from the internet. Okay, this is going to factor into the content of your proposal itself. Okay, follow the format here that you see on pages 439 to 445. Okay, I will tell you now, this is a more involved process than the letter of inquiry. You guys had the entire week to read this chapter, and I said chapter 18.2 on recommendation reports. You know, you might find some of that information useful in some secondary way, but you're not required to use necessarily the information in chapter 18 to apply to this project proposal. Sticking within chapter 16 is all you really need to worry about. But even so, it's more involved, okay? It's more steps involved. A really helpful place in here too is the guidelines section. It's the blue shaded box, as I flip to find it here, on page 432. You see this blue shaded box, and it is entitled Introducing a Proposal. Okay, so you might find that helpful in writing your document. Your proposal document as well, especially in the introduction. So those guidelines are there to help you build your introduction. And your introduction is, remember, just a component of the overall proposal. Okay. So before Sunday, the 5th, that's the 5th. The 5th, the day on which this proposal is due. And remember, it's going to be multiple pages, okay? I'd say at least 3, 4, 5 pages, okay? Of course, things are spaced out in such a way, you know, you're not necessarily writing an entire block of text, okay, each and every page. It's not an essay, per se, okay? It is persuasive, okay? A proposal. Remember a modest proposal we read? In 1101, Jonathan Swift. Remember what he had in his proposal? He had numbers, he had reasons, he had all of these different specifications to convince you, the reader, hey, we should adopt this plan. That's what you're doing here. You're not being satirical or literary, though, as he was, but similar approach in a sense. Okay. That's due Sunday. Now, Friday, like we had for the letter of inquiry assignment, due then is your group discussion. So we have another discussion forum due Friday, the 3rd. 2 days later, Sunday, the proposal itself is due. Please write your names, your group names, on the single document. It's the same thing. Remember, you submitted one document in your letter of inquiry. You all talked about it in your group discussion forum, okay? And let me reiterate, let me emphasize, this is a group discussion. I'm relying on you all to let me know if you have someone asleep at the wheel in your group. I'm relying on you all to work together. Okay, we cleared this several weeks ago. Remember, I was saying, I'm not sure if we should do this as we're working remotely here. But I was given, the go-ahead from some of you and given confidence that we could indeed do this. So I expect you to do it. If you are not participating in your group, you failed. You get a 0. You're not doing what you need to do. Come on, all right? So make sure you all are a cohesive unit working on this together. Again, I should see a robust conversation in the discussion forum, and I recommend you get going on that very soon. You're seeing this first thing Monday morning, start reaching out. Okay, start reaching out. Somebody should be on the building of this proposal by midweek. Okay, you guys should revisit your letter of inquiry and read these pages, follow the model, and get going. Okay, if you need help, let me know. I will be traveling Saturday the 4th back home to New Orleans for a week. So if you try to contact me Saturday, weekends, generally speaking, aren't good times to contact me anyway, nor me you. It's the weekend, okay? But just letting you know, I will be pretty much unavailable all day Saturday, okay? But I'll bring my computer with me. Of course, we have the internet. Duh, everyone does. And I will be, continuing on with the course next week, of course, too. All right. So I'm going to keep it there, folks. Let me know. Be diligent this week. You got to get going. So please do it. Please do it well. Any questions? Let me know. All right. Peace.